So today I'm gonna put a center console for the 22.5 to the 2025 Chevy Silverados, which I believe will fit the 2025 because they're all the same like model type. So yeah, I'm gonna show you what you need, and then we'll go ahead and put that center console in. The bench is already removed, so however I put this other center console in is the way you're gonna remove that bench. You are going to need a 2022.5 to 25 Chevy Silverado center console. 19 and 22 and below is not going to work. It is not going to fit. As you can see, it is kind of slanted right here. So that slant does fit in the way it's supposed to fit in these 2022.5s and up. So if it does not have this slant, then it's not going to work. And especially if it doesn't look like it has this slot right here where like the shifter knob is supposed to be at, then it's not going to be the right one. It's not going to fit. So when you do get it, you are going to get a shifter knob right here. So you're going to have to remove that and add this piece that you can buy. It's 3D printed on eBay. I think it costed me like about 50 bucks. And of course it didn't come with the mat. So I just bought some from Amazon. They're like, I don't know, like 20 bucks, I believe. So another thing you are going to need is a different bracket for that this dash piece for the center console to fit in. So you are gonna have to buy this online. It was like 50 bucks or something like that. I'll put the part numbers and all the things you need in the description or whatever. So this is the OEM one, and this is for the center console in order for it to fit right there. And you just gotta snap it in there. And that's it for that center piece. And you see how the center console is just gonna slide in there. And that's the only piece you're going to need in order for this conversion to work, for that console to sit in there. All right, so when you do take this piece off, the original piece that's supposed to go here, you're going to have to remove this top trim piece as well. So I just clipped it back in place, but in order for you to remove this, you got to remove one screw in order to remove this. But in order for unclip the whole thing, you got to remove these two screws as well, because it holds this clip inside there. So you have to remove the fuse box too in order for you to get to these screws right here. So on these pieces over here, they are 7mm screws. I forgot to say that in the other video. But so on this, so as you can see, I removed these plugs and SUBs off the other bench that I had, the original one. I don't want to use the ones that came with that harness over there. I mean the center console, because you don't know what if it was like in like harsh weather or something, or like maybe they're corroded within inside or something. So I did swap these out from my original bench seat, and I am going to put them over there so they can work properly and I don't get no warning lights on the dash or anything like this, anything like that. And then this as well, this actually is your in case your key fob dies, this is where you place your key for the vehicle to start in case your key fob dies. So you are going to definitely need this in the other center console, and I'll show you how to hook everything up over there. So all I'm gonna do is just literally clip this on in here, and that's it. That's pretty much it. There is another plug here, but of course our trucks do not come with heat seats in the rear, so we're gonna leave that unplugged. And I did remove that harness from my third bench seat so everything can properly work. If you do use this harness that comes with the center console, you are gonna get a CEL code. It is for the transmission, because the shift transmission is hooked up to that harness, so you are going to get codes. So I would recommend you use the third bench harness still and keep everything as OEM as possible. So same thing's going to happen with this plug as well. It is from the OEM. I did remove this one and put it in the third bench as well, and this one does come with extra plugs, but of course our harness does not have these extra plugs, so I am not going to use these. I mean, you can probably wire it up and make them have use for it, but if I was you, I would just use the USBs where these are at, you know what I mean? And of course, you're still gonna have power for your rear seats, for your passengers in the back. So that's like the main thing that I want: power for the back and power up front. And then this plug is gonna work as well with my harness that I have. So this is not gonna work at all. There is a harness on the 5th gen or something like that can make all this work. And you got to swap this out and put their wireless charging thing on there. But me, I don't really care, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. So this plug is from the other harness that I cut off. So I am going to put my block there, so when my key fob dies, I can just place it right there in the middle console with between the cups and this right here. And yeah, and it'll turn on the vehicle and have no issues. So it is swapped out, as you can see. So we did come across a situation. So this harness right here, it is going to be a little bit short, so I did unravel the whole harness in order for me to separate these wires. So every single one of these plugs are going to be separate like this tape right here, and I'm going to do that to the whole thing, all the way to the start of that harness over there. So I did cut it right here just because this plug does go up front and this plug does go in the rear, so it's not going to be able to reach its destination. So what I'm going to do is add an extension of a wire right here, and then that's what I'm basically doing right now. I did solder it together with this solder seal wire connectors. The only reason why I'm doing it with 2 pieces of wire is because I don't have this wire gauge here at the house, so I'm not going to wait. So I did use this old harness connector from the old harness, and I threw the whole harness away, but that's all I have here that's with me with that center console. So I'm going to go ahead and wire all this together, and then I'll tape everything up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, this is the final product. So I did jumper this wire here. It is longer now, and all these three plugs are separated from that start of that harness. So all these plugs should go in their original place, and they should all reach. So I'll go ahead and put all this up, and then I'll show you. You do got to remove this as well. It's just 2 clips, and then it comes off. So don't forget about that before you move the seat. All right, so you do got to remove these 2 screws in the back of the seat and 2 screws in the front of the seat. All you got to do is move the seat back and move the seat forward. Same thing goes for that side. In order for you to get to those 18 mil bolts, 2 in the rear and 2 up front, and then we can go ahead and place our center console in there. So console isn't in place. You got to put those 2 pins in there in their designated holes, and then the holes will line up there. And then you go ahead and put your plug in for that. Of course, there's not going to be a plug for this, and then you just clip this back on. Make sure you put your screw back in, and you put your cup on top, your cup holder on top. All right, now that I got everything put together, I'm trying to put that skirt back on, but so those 2 screws up there, it's not going to be coming with the hardware there already. You're going to be missing them, but I do have spares from Amazon that I use all the time when I do lose screws. But I'll go ahead and put in the description on what they look like and what they are on Amazon. So all right, now that I got those 2 screws in, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. I made sure I plug my my little sensor for the key fob when it does die. So I'm gonna go ahead and push that in there and lock it in, and then go ahead and put the 4 screws on, and then the skirts on the side. There is 1 screw there as well, where you got to remove, in order for you to remove this bottom piece in the beginning of the process. In order to remove everything else, I forgot to mention that. And then these are just clip-ons, and that's pretty much it. But so far I got 1 bolt in. I'm not going to tighten up all the way, but I'm going to put all 4 bolts on, probably tighten the 2 back already, and then I'll go ahead and tighten up these 2 fronts, and then go ahead and slap on the side skirts, and then that should be it. All right, I got the side piece on. They're just clips. You just got to put it right here on the side of the chair. Make sure that your chair's, loose before you do that, because you're going to have a hard time like me. And then this has a little notch at the corner of it. You can just push that in, and then everything else will just clip in. And then that's pretty much it, honestly. Now all I got left is just put the 4 bolts on each seat, and then call it a day. All right, this is the finished product. I think it came out pretty dang slick. It looks pretty much OEM. All plugs work, everything works. It just makes this interior look way better. But yeah, if I were to rate it 1 out of 10, like how hard it was, I would say like a 5, yeah. But yeah, that's how you swap out the console.